And then the final, the epic, no, World Without End. 6-part song that right off made me think about The Great Nothing in terms of just by the way it's structured and the way, the place, the last song on the album. But what can you tell me about World Without End?
Well, I mean, it's classic Neil. It's everything Neil. It's just the way he writes, you know. It's evident in a lot of his stuff, and in all the big epic stuff. You've got just parts that go for, you got this part, that part. And each part in itself is a mini epic that's strung together for this, you know, massive epic piece of music. In the case of Worlds Without End, there's just a real magic to the way each of the parts flow from, you know, to and through. So when you go on this journey, there's just a certain richness that never goes away. A lot of times there'll be an epic where it's like some parts make you feel a certain way and other parts make you feel differently. And maybe it makes it harder to get the song as a very long song, like a 25, 26-minute song. A lot of people don't really get that. But sometimes when a song always feels like, you know, it's bringing you home, you know, it's a lot easier to listen to and to digest over 33 minutes, which is the single longest song on a Neil Morris album.
Really?
It's the single longest song we've ever done.
Not without counting Transatlantic, of course. The Whirlwind is 70.
No, I think it's even longer. Well,
I mean, if you take the whole album, because that would be my argument. The Whirlwind is just one song.
If you look at the Whirlwind as one song, that's Transatlantic. But just within the Neil Morris solo catalog of all the albums we've done, this is definitely the longest track that we have. That's a single track on an album, not part of an epic suite like Question Mark could be considered one long song. But this is an album of songs, not a concept album. So just as a single track on an album, this is the longest piece that we've ever done.
And I mean, this is, I don't remember talking with you about this, or maybe I read it in the booklets from the CDs, but in the long songs, Neil acknowledges your influence in terms of which parts should be in, or taking parts out of those long songs, or the order they should take. Did you have any specific say on this song in terms of the order, what went in, what went out, what became a separate song, or what ended up in World Without End?
Yeah, we collaborated on a number of things. I wrote a lot of the bits in Thoughts Part 5. And he actually, I sent him some demos early on when he was putting together some songs. So when he was working on World Without End, he had adapted one of my demos as one of the songs within it, one of the pieces. And that's the one called The Mystery. And
which is right in the middle.
So very interesting to hear what he had done with it. And then later on in the process, you know, we had one of the new members of the band actually add some keyboards and clarinet. Did some really neat stuff in that section as well. And the new guitar player that we have, Adson Sadra, he is also contributing on the song as well as doing some lead guitar work. And then Bill Hubauer did the keyboards and clarinet on Mystery. So just a couple of guys from the new band.
Yeah, the auditions there, I thought the auditions came after the recording of the album, but then this you're talking about post-production decisions?
Yeah, we had done the drum tracks, and Neil was in the middle of working on the album. He was actually still working on recording Momentum when we had auditions. So he was still working on Momentum for a couple of weeks after the auditions. I mean, we've been working on Momentum up until right now. We're like, this is the day it's going to be done today. So, you know.
So that's one good thing about this interview. It's gonna this interview is gonna mark the day that the Momentum album sessions really ended in terms of post-production, right?
Works. Yeah.